Midnight new class changes, 7th of November. What's up guys, Petko here. Those should be the last class changes before beta come in next week. They're pretty minor, but let's go through them, see what they've changed, and let's discuss and analyze it. Alright, first we have some tier set buffs. So they're buffing the tier sets that appear to be weaker or introducing the one that we didn't have so far. Havoc DH tier set got a buff, Vengeance tier set got a buff, Aslorok tier set got a buff, Outlaw as well. Now the Outlaw set is really interesting. I like that they're focusing on Blade Rush because that's something you want to be pressing a lot due to lack of energy at times. So I love the Outlaw tier set. Sub-Rogue tier set got buffed. Iron's Warrior tier set also got improved. Now, out of all of this, everything here is passive damage. Nothing will change really your gameplay or the way you play. I guess for me, the best one could be Outlaw Rogue tier set, but the rest are also looking pretty good. Moving forward to the class changes, now you're gonna see a lot of new additions to the cooldown tracker of the base Blizzard UI, and they've made sure that they add that through notes. So as you can see, cooldown manager has now been updated, track new buffs, etc. for every single spec and class, so that will be making your UI design way easier, hopefully. Nothing important here. Unholy DK received the biggest change for Death Knight so far. As you can see, they really tried to work around Putrefy, making that spell more powerful, because there was a complaint from the past couple weeks that that spell, first of all, didn't really feel strong to press and also visually unpleasant. So trying to work around that one. Summon Gargo's also been, I guess, buffed a little bit, in a sense of like it might be useful cooldown to have it not only in Raid but also Mythic Plus. We shall see, I guess, upon further testing. Other than that, yeah, some very useful changes done to the spec that I'm pretty happy about. Also, Sweeping Claw damage increased by 50%. That is actually huge for the pet. Following Hunter, the only, I guess the only relevant change for Hunter here as has been that True Shot now reduces the cooldown of aim shot and rapid fire by 40% instead of 60. The reason why that is because they want you to press other spells inside your True Shot instead of only aim shots and rapid fires. I guess fair enough. If they shift the power a bit to more aim shot damage or rapid fire, that wouldn't be too bad. Survival Hunter. So the Apex talent of Survival Hunter has been updated. And then for me, that's actually quite a big buff. Now you might be actually pressing Raptor Strike inside your AoE rotation because it also provides a massive cleave. It makes it like a Raptor Swipe, which does damage up to 5 enemies, and also provides a 300% effectiveness bump on a prior target, essentially becoming a very useful prior target damage button, and also quite useful on like 5 to 6 targets. Now, in uncapped AoE, unsure if you're going to be pressing a Raptor Strike. I don't think you will, but perhaps for the lesser amount of mobs you might be. Moving forward, there's been a general update for mages. Now they did change Frost and Spell Slinger for both Arcane and Frost. For the Arcane specifically, they did nerf it, the Spell Slinger, that is. They did nerf some elements, they buff other elements. They're trying to pretty much shift the damage output from different spells to provide more average throughput instead of some talents being OP and other being useless. I guess that's the main theory here. Also, quite a bit of Arcane changes here. They're really focusing on Arcane Salvo economy, as you can see here on developer note, and making sure Arcane is one of your best Arcane Salvo generators while slowing down the cadence of the Arcane Barrage cast. So what they're trying to say is pretty much less Arcane barrages, more Arcane missiles, or like focus on Arcane missile a bit more. That's pretty much what they're trying to tell you right now. Casting Arcane Blast or Arcane Pulse grants 1 cycle salvo. Focus on Crystal has been updated now, cause each wave of Arcane missiles will have a 50% chance to grant 1 additional stack of Arcane salvo. There we go. But position got changed. We need to log in a bit to check out the new talents and see the repositioning of the Arcane. I'm pretty interested myself to see exactly what's happening here. Frost has seen also their fair share of changes. Ray of Frost duration reduced to 4 seconds, tick rate reduced to 0.5. Okay, so shorter cast way better. I love that. I would also love to cast Ray of Frost while moving. That would be amazing as well. Kind of like a Void Weaver, Void Torrent, Shadow Priest. Blizzard damage increased by 300%. Look at the buffs here. Frozen Orb juiced up, Flurry juiced up. However, Shatter got reduced, that's fine. Common Storm damage increased by 25 and its radius increased to 8 yards. Amazing change, by the way. Deep Shatter and Night Hands now 1 pointer talents. That will give you a lot of points inside a tree. That's very good. Overall, very good Frost Mage changes here. Not much changes here done for Windwalker. I expected a bit more. Decrease the cooldown of Invoke to win the White Tiger by 30 seconds and increase its damage by 30%. Fair enough. For the Conduit of Celestials. Shadow Pamphlet has been resigned. Now has a chance to grant 1-2 stacks from auto attack. I don't like that. Fade to touch no longer increases damage dealt. Mistweaver, very slight changes here done to them. Nothing for Holy Paladin. Protection Paladin. Okay, so one of the main points of Protection Paladin here was to reduce the amount of damage mitigation you can have during cooldowns and instead provide passive damage, which should should make for easier gameplay. So Prot Paladin is generally a very hard tank to master, and a lot of tanks, if they're not playing correctly, get out of concentration, for example, have no cooldowns, they will just die randomly, like one shot. So what they're trying here to do is making sure that you have more passive mitigation or more mitigation with your normal rotation, rather than relying on like a 2 or 3 major cooldowns to have. Which I think in the grand scheme of things, I don't really mind that, specifically lowering the barrier to entry for Prot Paladin, but it's, again, for the high level players that are pushing titles and above that, this might be problematic because you might have your major cooldowns less often, therefore you might not be able to do those huge pulls on Paladin that you used to do. But once again, once Mythic Plus comes out next week, no, in 12 days from now, we will be testing it out and see what's up. Few talents got removed: Inner Light, Inspiration Vanguard, and Resolute Defender, and they've also repositioned some of the talents, and some of the talents are now going to be 1 pointer as well. Interesting. Nothing really interesting for Holy, for Priest in general. I guess the biggest change here is done for Holy as Oracle. Healing a Prayer now is going to be increased by 15% instead of 40. That's kind of a nerf to Oracle, big time. Fine. Rogue, mostly hero talent changes for Rogue, so nothing really impactful for your general class talents or your spec talents as well. New talents introduced for Fatebound and Trickster. As you can see, they're trying to polish the specs to be more even out, although most people prefer to play Trickster over Fatebound for Mythic Plus. We shall see how things are going to develop. Elemental Shaman has seen a new talent. Lava Burst does more damage and generates more Maelstrom. Fire Elemental has been removed as talent. Coafar remains a way to continue summoning. Okay, so we need to log in later on and check out how exactly the new talent points will be. But they're saying several talents have changed position in the talent tree. Stream should be up in an hour from now. We'll be checking out all the changes done to the spec itself. I'm pretty curious to find out. But also the nerve lava burst damage, whatever. Nothing for enhance. Okay, so Demonology has received the biggest changes. They have, I think, around 4 pages of changes on Demonology. Let's see what they're trying to do here. After playtesting and reading community feedback, we are revising some of the initial changes for Demonology. Specifically, we're eliminating the cap of the Wild Imps and returning the energy cost of Fell Firebolt. Okay, I feel like they did nerf that at the beginning, but then they weren't happy about it. Now they're reverting it back, I guess. Additionally, summoning Tyrant and Implosion was made with the goal of having it easier for you to understand when to cast another. Okay, so again, lowering barrier to entry, making it easier, whatever. New talents. Let me check something interesting here. Damage done per your hand will go down to the main target by 20%. More power damage. Good stuff. Passively summon the Wild Imps every 12 seconds. I like that. Fellstorm grants you Fjordguard Aura of Contempt for 8 seconds. Aura Contempt increases the haste of friendly limit by 8%. Ooh, huge. Your Demonic Tyrant also empowers you while active, increasing your haste by 8%. All a Reign of Tyranny added. Love that. Extends duration of the Red Stalker by 15 seconds when summoned. Lovely. Okay. New talent. Summons an Imp Lord to assist you in combat for 20 seconds and will remove one harmful effect from you when summoned. Transform into single magic on cooldown. Ooh. Aha. So you can choose whether you want to have a perch or spell lock. So you can have sort of like a double interrupt. One regular with your pet, you know, the troll axton, whatever, and then they can have one more if you have a field ravager talent, or if you don't need any extra kicks, you can have a dispel or second dispel as a demon lock. That is huge, actually. That is a huge utility done to them. Okay. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna be trying out the new demon lock in the coming days. I would love to see how that one plays out for now. Increase math by 3% and reduce the cast time of summon demonic tyrant and summon Felguard by 0.5 seconds. Oh, how many pages change? Okay. Grand scheme of things should be way better to play in Midnight now. They're trying to even out the damage a lot more. Now, previously the dogs were doing so much damage that Tyrant was like inferior, but now it seems like they're shifting some damage again to the Tyrant and even more pet summoning. That's good. And a lot of talents got removed. Improved Implosion removed, Imp Mastery, Explosive Core removed, Ancient Imps removed. Wow, okay. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be checking it out, boys. But this looks very interesting. This looks like a massive rework to the Demonology late into the alpha, which usually doesn't really happen as often. And last but not least, Warrior. We have a slight changes to Slayer. Auto attacks have a 15% chance to trigger Slayer Strike. Very good change here for the General Class 3, getting even more utility. Heroic Troll now silences non-player targets for 3 seconds. So you can have on-demand silence every 15 seconds. The helly? That sounds amazing. Although, what is the cooldown of Heroic Troll? I need to check. I'm not sure. I don't think they have cooldown, right? I need to check after this. Rallying Cry has been updated. Health granted is increased by 50%. Oh, wait, not in rate. Okay, never mind. That will make Rallying Cry useful. Or I guess a better in Mythic Plus, which is obviously a very lucrative for you guys. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't give you 50% more health. It increases the health you get by 50%. So I'll give an example. Let's say if Rallying Cry was giving 10% health, increase temporarily, now it's going to give 15%. Again, that is just an example, not exactly how much you'll be getting, okay? Just an example. You're going to be getting more rage from your auto attacks arms, and Blade Storm no longer extends close smash. Okay. Fury. Audience Fury bleed damage is increased by 140% and now does damage, reduced damage above 8 targets. So they're making the cap from 5 to 8 targets as Fury, Odin Fury. Keep in mind a lot of your tier set is actually tied around Odin Fury, and Apex talents can also help you elevate that damage even further, which is really good, by the way. However, they also make the damage better and Odin Fury bleed damage to be incorrectly reduced by armor, okay? But Blade Storm doesn't enrage you, Unbridled Ferocity got removed, Frenzy is now 1 stack. But several talents got changed. Alright, boys and girls, this looks to be very good. Seems like a lot of your damage in the next expansion, Midnight that is, will be tied to Odin's Fury. Previously a very weak talent, however now it's been a focus of Fury for the past couple weeks, and they're continuing to buff the talent even more. As you can see, 140% buff, plus now it's going to be 8 target cap instead of 5. Interesting. Last but not least, Prot Warrior. Last time cooldown reduced by 60 seconds if you talent bolster, and when last time is triggered you gain shield wall for 4 seconds. Interesting. They also changed the position of talents of Bolster, Tough as Nails, and Massacre. Alright guys, overall this looks to be very, very interesting, following the last alpha build on Midnight. Once again, beta will begin in 4 days from now, and during beta, we will be able to test the classes with max gear, max level, and then Mythic Plus should be available on the 18th of November. That's when the real testing begins, but between the 11th and 18th, set up all the characters, get all the gear, test all the builds, know exactly what we'll be playing on Tuesday. That'll be the plan for us. So four more days of retail. After this, a full Midnight, I guess, testing begins. Thank you for watching the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. I'll see you next time for more changes. Peace out for now.